Hello everybody, this is PotterBrony. Welcome to another blind reaction of DeathBattle. This time we have Roronoa Zoro versus Erza Scarlet. One from One Piece, the other from Fairy Tail. Not too familiar with One Piece. Gonna be on, as anybody who's seen any of my reactions to One Piece know. I do know that he's a swordsman, has 3 swords. I have watched Fairy Tail though, not all of it. I'm lagging behind, I gotta catch up with that stuff, man. But Erza Scarlet, total badass, so I'm rooting for Erza, though I'm not going to make a prediction as far as who I think is going to win, because like I said, know next to nothing about Zoro, so he could very well be a match. I mean, both sword-wielding, probably badasses, so yeah, let's just see what they have to bring to the table. And starting the death battle in 3, 2, 1, and go. Alright.
Past, present, or future, one kind of fighter has stood the test of time.
Monty Python song is awesome.
And today's combatants are 2 of the most skilled warriors to ever wield a blade.
Roronoa Zoro, the feared swordsman of the Straw Hat Pirates.
And Erza Scarlet, the battle mage of the Fairy Tail Guild.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Alright, let's hear it.
As a child, Roronoa Zoro dreamed
Zoro,
of becoming the
first,
greatest
okay.
swordsman in the world.
But he didn't just enroll at a dojo. He showed up, challenged everyone, and then just sort of stuck around.
Zoro's dojo training
Stubborn then, right?
natural talent with a sword, but there was one person he could never quite manage to beat. His sensei's daughter, Kuina. They dueled a lot, and Kuina won every single matchup. All 2,001 of them.
Damn, you would have gotten at least one in.
Despite the
Apparently
constant
not.
defeat, Kuina and Zoro were very close friends. Together, they promised that someday one of them would become the world's best swordsman.
And then she fell down some stairs and died, which just seems like an unacceptable way for a master swordsman to bite the dust.
Yeah.
Does thin out the competition for world's best swordsman, though.
True. I mean, that's how I
Probably
became
not in the way he,
shotgun woodcarver.
After Kuina's death, Zoro inherited
Probably not how he
sword,
wanted the competition to be
his skills
thinned out.
further, eventually leaving the dojo in search of the current title
Alright,
holder of the
so
world's greatest
Belly
swordsman.
is the currency of the realm?
But he
this
immediately
world?
got himself lost. With nothing better to do, he became a bounty hunter and wandered around.
I was just
the
reading his
ocean until
bounty.
He ran into a weird,
30,
stretchy pirate
300
kid.
something
You
million.
mean Monkey D. Luffy, who brought Zoro onto his crew of Straw Hat Pirates.
Actually worked out pretty well, since Luffy was already looking to hire him anyway. Turns out, Zoro has quite a reputation.
At this point, he was already a master swordsman, and after finding and training under Mihawk, his swordsmanship became legendary.
He created his own fighting style, Santoryu, also called Three-Sword Style, because he uses 3 swords, 1 in each hand and 1 in his frickin' mouth.
That doesn't seem
Killer
very
Bee
safe.
uses 8.
Oh, shut up, Wiz. Badasses don't
Crooks
care
of his
about
arms
safety.
and
Regardless, with the 3-sword
legs.
style, Zoro can perform several unique attacks, including the Onigiri, where he strikes with all 3 blades at once.
Or the Tatsumaki, where he makes a tornado dragon.
By swinging his swords a certain way, he can fire compressed air projectiles toward an opponent, like with his deadliest technique, the 1080-pound cannon. And last but
Seems
not least,
useful.
he knows the Kutoryu 9-sword style.
Wait, did he just grow 4 more arms and 2 more heads? How the hell did he do that?
It's just an illusion, but it still somehow has physical presence.
He's like a human slap chop with a total of 9 swords.
That's one way to put it. In addition to his
Yeah,
skills,
slap
with the
chop is
blade,
awesome.
Zoro is able to use haki, a mysterious power that every living being possesses, but only a select few have learned how to use.
Hockey, much like Neapolitan ice cream, comes in 3 flavors, and Zoro only has access to chocolate and vanilla.
Chocolate? I don't even... Well, one of those flavors...
What's the comparison?
is observation haki.
That's vanilla.
Of course. Which
Yeah,
in
makes
some
sense.
ways is similar to Spider-Man's Spidey sense. Zoro can sense the location of other people, even if they're invisible or far away. and can also predict most opponents' attacks.
Then chocolate, everyone's favorite hockey flavor, is armament hockey. This lets him form an invisible armor around himself as protection, or harden his swords to make his strikes cut through.
Well, I assume
almost
invisible through
With
the
both
characters
hockey,
on the
Zoro
show,
has been a
but
real
visible to
asset
us
this
for
had pirates.
art
They've traveled
reasons.
the world and had a lot of weird
Artistic license, that was the word.
Like that time, Zoro fought a literal living mountain man named Pika and sliced him clean in half.
A strike so powerful it didn't just cut through Pika, it sent his top half flying upward. Considering Pika's enormous size and approximate mass, this strike had to have been more powerful than the first ever deployed hydrogen bomb, the 11 megaton
goddamn.
Romeo.
Also, Zoro's pretty damn fast.
I wasn't sure how much of a chance he'd have against Erza, but
Invisible to a room full of highly trained assassins. And when the odds are against him, he'll keep pushing himself, even past the point of bleeding out.
Thus, he's powered through some incredibly intense pain, such as...
Holy shit! How the hell is he still standing after that?
that's a good question.
After a battle with Kuma, a bear man because this is One Piece, Zoro took on not only
Why
his
not?
own pain from near death, but also Luffy's, despite being told that doing so would surely kill him. But it just didn't.
He doesn't even brag about it. What a badass.
Zoro is definitely the stoic badass,
I'll give him that.
but he can't do everything. He's a sword fighter above all, and prefers to fight up close and personal.
He also has the world's shittiest sense of direction. He gets lost without someone there literally reading the map for him, and could never survive on his own without his friends.
You might think Zoro would be more of a lone wolf type of guy, but no. Much like how Kuina's death spurred him on to become a great swordsman, it's his friends who keep him fighting.
I set sail for only one reason, to meet you,
And what is your goal?
to beat you.
Alright.
Erza Scarlet grew up in a small rural town called Rosemary Village. It was pretty picturesque as
Okay.
far as childhoods
Yep.
go.
Hold on, Wiz, I'm getting a premonition.
There's
Despite
tragedy
everything
there.
Seeming perfect, something terrible happens.
A murderous cult attacked, destroyed the city, and enslaved the children to build a tower to resurrect their evil overlord.
There it is.
Yeah,
Young
that
Erza
seems
was-
about right.
And while she may have lost an eye in the process, she also gained a friend, Jalal Fernandez.
Until
Actually
he,
gave Erza her last name, Scarlet, after her red hair.
yeah,
She
his,
and her buddies
that whole
soon
issue with that
escaped,
character.
So Erza ended up staging a revolt and saved the other slaves thanks to discovering her latent magical powers.
Unfortunately, not everyone made it out.
Turns out Jalal got possessed by some spirit that made him a huge dick, and she had to go without him.
Fine, if you want to leave so badly, then I'm not going to stop you. But you'll have to go alone.
After that nightmare, Erza swore to dedicate her life to helping and protecting the innocent, and so joined the Fairy Tale Magicians Guild. Luckily for them, she possessed a great skill set for a mage.
Her main thing is requip magic, which is basically like having an armory with you at all times, without having
Yeah,
to
this
look
is where
around.
she may have the
Requip
advantage.
magic allows Erza to summon her vast array of weapons and armor at will.
Because with her weaponry, if I remember,
Multiple
she
combinations
also
of swords,
has...
lances, and outfits, all in one fight without ever really slowing down.
Damn,
Her
that
weapons
means
would also have
some
reach and
weapons.
distance
How
as
many
opposed to
is
just the
back?
swords.
She's rumored to have access to as many as 100 sets of armor and 200 weapons.
Nice! As far as armor goes, her go-to is the standard Heart Cruise set. But there's also the Heaven's Wheel armor, where she can send
Which is
swords
nice.
flying at people, the spiky defensive adamantine armor, and the Black Wing and Flame Empress armors, which have wings for flying.
Don't forget her giant armor, which she uses with a lance, purgatory armor, which has a lot of spikes, and seduction armor? I'm not really sure what purpose this serves.
Probably to make enemies terribly aroused. Ever tried to fight with an erection, Wiz? Believe me, it's not easy.
Right.
the
Well, Erza claims her most powerful armor is the Armadura Fairy armor, which is very pink.
These are fancy and all, but sometimes she doesn't even bother suiting up. If her back's against the wall, Erza equips her Clear Heart clothing. This enhances her speed and attack over defense, and channels all her magical energy into her katanas for a decisive blow.
She can charge magic through her swords to perform all sorts of magical attacks, even mixing and matching weapons and armors to better her chances in a fight.
She's also just really good at sword fighting. Actually, she's really good with a lot of weapons, including hand-to-hand.
All of this makes Erza an excellent addition to the Fairy Tail Guild. She quickly became one of its highest-ranking mages and was the youngest member to ever pass the S-Class Mage promotion test. An incredibly difficult gauntlet only the strongest and wisest of warriors can even attempt.
Speaking of achievements, she's pretty friggin' strong. Don't believe me? Well, here she is, lancing a hole through a giant floating cube.
This cube was about 100 million cubic miles in volume. To punch through it, Erza's lance must have dealt about 16 kilotons of force.
Hers is also fast enough to deflect bullets point blank from a flintlock pistol. Guns with a muzzle velocity of about 540 miles per hour. And that's without a speed boost from her armor.
Right, many of her armor sets grant her stat boosts, increasing her speed, magic, defense, etc. She's survived plenty of destructive blasts, including one that blew up an island. Considering that island's size, that's an explosion equivalent to 2 kilotons of TNT.
So she's sexy, can survive island-busting attacks, and has a shit ton of weapons? She's basically perfect. Just wish she used a gun or two.
Well, she may have a
Then she'd be
vast
perfect
armor,
for you,
but
right,
spawning
Boomstick?
in and out requires magic, and she can run her supply down if she's not careful.
So it's just like a mana bar in those fantasy games you always play.
Exactly, though even when she's out of magic, she's still quite deadly in hand-to-hand. Like when she fought her alternate self from another parallel universe.
That universe has a lot less clothing. Sign me up!
But when
Yeah,
you're among the best
sounds
in the
good.
guild, you get the job done no matter the limits.
I will withstand any physical pain to protect the ones that I love.
All right, the combatants
All
are
right,
set.
so,
Let's end this
who's
debate
gonna
once and
win?
for all.
It's time for a death battle!
And pause. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure who I'm gonna be putting my vote to. I'm just trying to think about that. Zoro seems to be physically more powerful, and insanely skilled. He has these special defenses and can slice through and propel mountains pretty much with the force of his attack. Erza has magic on her side, plus she's not lacking in strength or anything like that. And punching through that cube of something like takes a lot of power as well. But that, and she's got a whole lot more weaponry and armor. I'm not sure. I'm be honest with you. I'm just gonna. Yeah. I really can't call this one. I'm not even gonna try. I'm just gonna say I'm rooting for Erza because I actually know I've watched Fairy Tail. Never got into One Piece. I know it's big. It's like, but again, just gonna touch on that. It's like never really got into it. But yeah, having watched One Piece, being a fan of Erza, I like Erza, and so I'm just gonna root for her. But really, based on what I've seen, I think it could go either way. So I really couldn't make a prediction. But like I said, my vote is for Erza, or my hope is for Erza to win. So let's see. 3, 2, 1, battle.
Oh, sorry, lady. Could you point me in the way of the shipyard? I've been looking around for hours.
He's got a bounty on his
You're
head.
the one I'm looking for. Come peacefully and you won't be harmed.
Sorry, I'm busy. Maybe later.
Then we'll have to do this the hard way.
I told you I'm busy! Fine! Well, I guess we're doing this now.
Well, you're gonna have to do it anyway.
Whoa! What?
You're coming with me!
Neat trick.
You know, she's not out of tricks, though. Yeah, she's got like ranged weapons and everything, but he's no slouch
You are
as well.
strong, pirate. But this is
Alright, apparently this is... Well, she believes this to be her strongest armor.
Fool. Nothing is worse than the loss
Now
of
it's
life.
just speed.
Don't start crying, woman.
what?
So much for all that true strength bullshit, huh?
No. I can
The sight thing, yeah.
I will claim this bounty for my guild, for my strength.
This is my personal
for my
preference as far as her
friends.
armor goes. This one just looks so freaking cool.
You're not the only one who fights for their friends.
That's unfortunate. And awfully fucking brutal.
Hell is that shipyard?
Jesus! Talk about a killing.
Yeah.
In the past, Erza could react to projectiles flying over 500 miles per hour, but Zoro could move faster than the eye could see. U.S. Air Force tests have shown that a well-trained human eye can consistently spot and recognize an image in 1/220th of a second. So, in this case, Zoro would have had to move from point A to point B, which is about 57 feet, in 4.5 milliseconds. That's close to 9,000 miles per hour.
That's more than 5 times faster than a bullet. Erza didn't really rely on speed anyway, and there's no evidence any of her armor magic could have helped close that wide of a gap.
Speaking of her armor, Erza did have more options in defense and weaponry. Unfortunately for her, she was simply outclassed and damage dealt.
Erza could withstand hits of about 2 kilotons, like the blast which destroyed that island. But Zoro has dished out much stronger blows than that.
Slicing Pika in half, for example, was equivalent to 11.5
Yeah.
megatons. That's about
Alright, I'm kind of
6
seeing where they're going with
bigger than
this.
anything
Disappointed
Erza
Erza didn't win,
And while
but
Urza's artificial eye may have seen through Zoro's 9-sword style illusion, it couldn't prevent
I love how
him from
people...
actually
I'll talk
attacking
about that
her.
in a
He
minute.
also had
Just
that
listen.
habit of stripping down to clear hard clothing in a bind. Yeah, it gave her more sword power, but at the cost of less defense. This sounded like a good idea on paper, but close-range combat was Zoro's bread and butter.
Urza was mostly self-taught, and while proficient with a blade, Zoro has trained with swords all his life. Even with the greatest swordsman in the world, an up-close duel was exactly what he was looking for.
Yes, she won't be getting a fairy tale.
Yeah, if she stayed as a
The winner
ranged
is
fighter,
Roronoa Zoro.
she might have had more of a chance.
Next time
That's unfortunate,
on
but...
Death Battle.
Alright, who's next? Again?
Hey guys, I'm Chad, I'll Boomstick. I'm Ben, I play Wiz, and next time...
Alright, so who's he gonna be fighting?
Oh, God. And we're doing something a little different this time. We're going to be announcing his opponent on the Death Battle cast.
Which, if you haven't heard, is a thing. We launched a podcast around Death Battle where we hang out, talk fights, and goof around. It's a lot of fun. Go check it out.
Thanks, guys.
Alright. So, that was Roronoa Zoro versus Erza Scarlet, and, yeah. And I thought it could have gone either way. If I believe that if she had stuck with, like, ranged attacks, that type of stuff, she might have eventually worn him down, but unfortunately, hand-to-hand, like, not hand-to-hand, but close quarters combat with swords, when he could do something to, like, that is pretty much a living mountain, I don't think she has any armor that could stand up to something like that. She's powerful, yes, but that is just too... That was just too friggin' OP for her, so... It may be disappointing to me, but... I generally tend to agree with what the Death Battle guys, with what they've come up with. Especially with the facts that were given to me. It's like, if it's, like, one thing that I really love is sometimes the fan controversy that this series creates. You know, it's like the whole Superman versus Goku thing and all the shitstorm that caused, and You see, like I said, I agree with what they say for the most part. Is like, if they lay it out like that and it's well put together, well thought out, well reasoned argument as to why this person would win, then yeah, they've taken a lot into account. So I'm just gonna usually end up taking their word for it. But one thing I really enjoy is like when people try to argue that. It's just funny to watch. It's funny to see that type of stuff, but yeah, it's not really me. So looks like Zoro took this one. Now I guess we'll have to see who Deadpool is going to be fighting next. And he took out Deathstroke, so I wonder. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm wondering who is going to be facing against Deadpool. Oh, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. I want to thank you all for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and I'm going to end this one here. Until next time, take care.